From Georgia, Mr. Brown is recognized for his questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Administrator McCarthy, I have a very limited amount of time and very many questions, so please answer as quickly as you possibly can so we can get through. I'm a physician, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page about basic principles of toxicology, one of which is that the dose makes the poison. A good example is 2 aspirins will help relieve a headache. 50 aspirins is a toxic dose. Would you agree with that premise that the dose makes the poison? Yes or no? Please?
I don't want to speak to the
yes
science,
or no,
but
please,
the dose is very important to us.
So the answer is yes. Even though fine particulate emissions have dropped 55% over the last 2 decades, as noted on your own website, EPA's own website for air quality trends, your agency has been very concerned with the health effects associated with fairly low dosage, low levels of particulate matter, or PM. And it has been the basis of most of your recent Clean Air Act regulations. Agency analysis suggests that hundreds of thousands of Americans die from PM exposure every year. According to your website, quote, numerous scientific studies have linked particle pollution exposure to premature death, cancer, non-fatal heart attacks, and aggravated asthma. Does the science suggest that PM can cause cancer?
I do not know. I cannot answer that question, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what the word suggests is, and I don't know how the scientists would interpret that. I wait till they tell me.
well, okay. EPA's most recent assessment of PM stated that there was, quote, strong epidemiological evidence linking short-term exposure to PM as measured in hours to cardiovascular and respiratory mortality and morbidity. Is that still true?
I believe so.
Okay. If the dose makes the poison, as you just indicated, you believe that the people die from fine particulate levels at the lowest level, why has your agency conducted a series of human tests in North Carolina that exposes unknowing volunteers? They have no knowledge of the exposure, including those with pre-existing respiratory issues and asthma, to particulate concentrations as high as 750 micrograms, and that's more than 60 times the standard. Would you explain, please?
To my knowledge, we have not done that.
Yes, ma'am, you have. In fact, the Inspector General has been investigating this, and we found out about this through a Freedom of Information Act. Were these individuals informed that they were being subjected to a pollutant that EPA thinks causes mortality and cancer, especially since many came from susceptible populations?
It's my understanding that the human studies work that we are doing was recommended by the national academies. It's done with the highest ethical standards. We medically
Ma'am, I disagree, because these people, according to the knowledge that we've gotten, is they were unknowing that they were being exposed to these high levels of exposure of particulate matter. And as far as I'm concerned, as a physician, as a scientist, this is totally unethical and totally unacceptable. Let me ask you one more question, because my time's running out. Are you signed up for Obamacare?
No, I am not.
Why not?
Well, because I'm lucky enough as a federal government that I have health care available to me, which I've signed up for. In a few years, when that's not the case, I'll be happy to have other available.
Well, our president says that Obamacare is much better than forcing most federal employees into Obamacare, and obviously, if you're not signing up, you don't think it is. Mr. Chairman, I've run out of time. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.